Hello everyone, this is the third part of my Q&A. I apologize that it took so long to upload and release. I guess it was because when I have to choose between working on a new episode or the movie or finishing the Q&A, I usually always choose the first thing and not working on the Q&A, so I apologize. I know people actually really wanted them to have their questions answered, so I'm going to try to get the next chunk out of the way. So here is the third part. Is Proteus going to be a main character in an episode or your movie? Will Proteus's past and death be revealed at all in the finale or season 3? Absolutely, Proteus is going to have a very big role in the series overall, and he will definitely have a part in the movie. I think Swashbuckler, if you guys haven't seen it, does reveal his past and death very thoroughly, so if you want to check that out and see. And he will have a role in the finale, and his lamp may also have a significant role, so stay tuned for that. Will there be more custom engine characters in Season 3? Absolutely, yes. I think Red Knight is an example of a new custom engine character. I've also purchased 2 create my own engines from the Thomaswoodenrailway website, so there's a second one on the way, and you guys will probably get to see who that is very soon. Probably the movie. I'm just trying to limit I have to be careful with how many characters I introduce because it seems like every year and every special there are just so many new characters, and I really love developing them and seeing how they work. So I know you guys like to see the new characters in action too. So I'm gonna there are definitely going to be new characters, but I'm always gonna try to limit myself just in case there's just so many characters at this point. So I want to make sure everyone gets screen time, but when I introduce too many of my own characters, that can get a little difficult to do. Which Thomas character do you think they should bring back? They should absolutely bring back Daisy. This show needs another level of sass and just, her prancing around thinking she's all that in a bag of chips. I say Daisy. That would be great. Will Neville, Hero, and the Gordon vs. Spencer rivalry get their own episodes? Stay tuned. Neville actually has a big part in the overall arc of Season 3. He is going to be going through an identity crisis and struggling to find out who he really is, so we're going to see some often very absurd and hilarious scenes of Neville trying to find himself. Hero, I have not planned for Hero to have his own episode, but I have definitely planned for him to have a larger role in the series. He had 1 or 2 speaking roles in Season 2, and I hope that he has even more next season. And the Gordon vs. Spencer rivalry, buckle up, I've definitely got plans for that too, so yes, definitely. Will Connor and Caitlin be getting some kind of role in the series? Will Steven star in an episode? Connor and Caitlin definitely will. They will be in the movie, and Steven will definitely star in an episode. In fact, I've already shot scenes where Steven is starring in an episode, so yes and yes and yes. What do you use to edit your videos? I use Final Cut Pro X, and I've also used Dragon Frame as a stop-motion editing software for the occasional shot. And Sony Vegas I've also used for stop-motion scenes as well, but now I mostly use Final Cut for everything. Do you like Cartoon Network? Do you like Nickelodeon? Absolutely, I love both of them. I'm a huge fan of Nickelodeon's The Legend of Korra. I thought the whole series was awesome. Cartoon Network, I am an Adventure Time and regular show fan. And I will also say that I'm also a Gravity Falls fan on Disney XD or whatever it is, so I love cartoons. If people were interested in creating an original Thomas the Tank Engine series of their own, what do you think would be necessary elements needed for creating said series? Well, everyone's different in the way they go about doing things, and I think that first of all, be true to yourself. Like, there are so many different series out there, like Wild Norwester's series is so, Railway series accurate, but he adds so many of his own characters and elements and ideas to it that I feel like I'm watching something that's actually canon to the show, and that's magnificent. And if you see Tines Sensaththe's Tobias and the Half Pariah, he created his own Thomas universe and made his own continuity, and that made something really, really cool. And there's a Wooden Railway series where, Thomas Wooden Railway, for instance, he makes up the entire story as he's on the carpet with the trains and telling it, and that's amazing storytelling. I'm pretty sure he writes his scripts now, but it's amazing that he can just come up with the story on the fly as he's holding the camera and telling some very good stories. So I guess what the necessary element is know how you want to tell your story, how you want everything to flow. Do you want it to be accurate to the show? Do you want to use your own ideas? Who do you think is the real number 7 on the narrow gauge railway, Ivo Hugh or Freddy? Well, interestingly enough, some people have commented this is the only series where they see Ivo Hugh and Freddy in the same place and talking to each other. My series is interesting because people have often commented that I thought I've never seen a series where Ivo Hugh and Freddy are talking to each other, and they both happen to be the number 7. I would say that Ivo Hugh is probably the real number 7, and Freddy just kind of showed up with his number 7, and it was just kind of awkward, but they kept him because they were both stubborn. I won't go into details about it. I don't think I'm going to draw attention to it in the show, but honestly, Ivo Hugh is probably the real number 7, and Freddy is probably the accidental number 7, or he was number 7 on the Mid-Sodor Railway, or wherever he really came from. That is also very controversial, honestly, because Freddy had an accident on the Skarloey Railway or something. That's why he went to the works. And then he knows Sir Handel, but Skarloey and Rheneas don't know him. It's confusing. Like, it takes a really creative person to kind of make the continuity for that, or at least make up a way for that to make sense. So I'm not going to go into detail now. Maybe I'll take a crack at it later. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Vaguely, I guess. Moving on. Will you read my script? Tines Sensahthe, always. Why does love always feel like a battlefield? Because you better get your armor. Oh, Jordan, shut up. These questions are getting weird. Alright, what is your favorite Lego set? How long have you been collecting Thomaswoodenrailway and Lego? What Lego sets do you use for cranes, Goliath, the smelters, and others? My favorite Lego set of all time was the first one that I ever got, and it was the Johnny Thunder Adventurers Cleopatra pyramid set. It was it had a car with treads on it or something, and it had a hot air balloon and a pharaoh and skeletons, and it was the first Lego set I ever got, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I've been an obsessive Lego fan ever since. I have been collecting Thomaswoodenrailway even longer, I think, since I was 3 or 4 years old. And, yeah, I think both of those toys have been a huge part of my life, and I love making a series that incorporates both of them in the same place. And, for Goliath, the smelters, and others, I think it's just, I couldn't really give you an exact set because it's just accumulated over so many years. I know that Goliath's hull came from a Harry Potter boat set. And the cranes, I think, came from the Lego mining theme or some construction themes, and I sort of helped throw the parts together. And there's also some Alpha Team parts somewhere in there, too. Forgive me, my dog is walking through my legs as I'm trying to talk into my camera right now, so forgive me for that. But yeah, I think, overall, the Lego sets I use, some of them are actual Lego sets. Kurt is based off of an Indiana Jones set. I didn't design that at all. The flying wing airplane that's been seen in the background with a face, that is a set not built by me. Spitzer was built by me, Wendy was built by me, and Goliath was built by me, but a lot of you can recognize that some of them are actually from Indiana Jones sets that I really like. Are there any scripts that never make it to filming? Characters?